Hey, hey, hey! Look at that banana. Yummy! Well, just got done with some Saturday work. Some good overtime pay. 6 hours of work. Oh, it's been a while since I've done a banana break. It's been a minute, my friends. In my wife's car. So, wrote a poem, but I don't have it with me, so I'll have to read it. And do a video or something, I guess, huh? Be keeping that. The sticker's not very good. We'll put it on here from now. I got Grogu, Star Wars, Coca-Cola. Yeah, so I wrote this poem. And about how August used to be my favorite month. It used to be, that was way back, it was the last bit of summer. My kid goes back to school this Tuesday, whereas we didn't go back till, it was in August. It was the last part of August. Anyway, so it was the last bit of summer. Even as, after I was out of school, and it still was that last bit of summer, and you'd take it, I'd go to Yellowstone, that kind of thing, because where I grew up, we were close to that. Anyways, first dance I ever went to was in August. Just all kinds of firsts were August. I just always, it was a magical month, it seemed. But, so, yesterday, my stepdaughter got married. And I was specifically not invited. It's been a whole thing, and it's had me spinning. Big old fight with the wife, and of course she's taking her daughter's side, so it's, I don't know, painful and hurtful. And not last Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving before, we had his family. They just started, they'd been dating. Had they gotten engaged? I'm not sure if they were engaged at that point. I don't think they were engaged. They'd just been dating. But his family came to Thanksgiving. Well, his mom and grandma. His dad was a truck driver, and he wasn't home. So it was like a big Thanksgiving, and it was nice. I thought it was a nice Thanksgiving. But no, I got told in these fights that, hey, that I've ruined every holiday. But I thought that was a good holiday. But what do I know? It's just, I ain't saying I'm perfect. Far from it. She probably got good cause to not want me at her wedding, but. So anyway, I mean, I could never have them over for Thanksgiving again, because I'm flipping humiliated. There is no way I would, it would just be weird. You know, so I can never go to a family activity with them. In fact, I'm curious to what Thanksgiving will be like, because if my stepdaughter and her husband are coming, I ain't going. I don't know. It's left me like, do I need? I kind of want to find a job where I'm work the holidays, or I'm out of town. I'm far away, which sucks because I've got a 15-year-old. Well, he's almost 15, and he'll be 15 in October. You know, he's going to be starting his freshman year. I mean, I kind of want to be there for him, but these things are untenable. So then it just kept building. Like, that put him in a situation, like, I don't know. I talked to him. I really don't kind of want to know in some ways, but I'm sure people ask, hey, where's your dad? And there's my wife, but her husband's not there. So, yeah. So I put him in a situation. And then there was all my wife's family, our brother-in-law, her sister's husband did the cooking for the Dutch oven cooking for, I'm sure it was like dinner after the rehearsal on Thursday. So, but anyway, so, or maybe it was after, maybe it was the wedding. I don't know what kind of thing. Because she's left our faith, and so I don't know what kind of wedding she had. It's not anything that goes along with what I'd want to teach my kid, but I can't hardly voice that. Yeah, but that's here and there, really. She's made her choice, but to exclude me, to not be part of it, and I mean, it was like 2 weeks of fighting. Like, a day before my wife left was the first time she was talking to me, and we went from here to Boise and she did shopping. Well, I needed to go to a couple of banks, do banking in Boise, and we went, but she went and did shopping for the dinner. Well, it was, I'm sorry, some gut-wrenching feelings as I'm sitting there helping shop for stuff that I'm being purposely excluded from. But I'm just supposed to understand and it was all these things brought up from, because I came into her life when she was 9. All these things. But I can name all these things I did that I did for her, but no, we don't see that. We don't see that. My wife talks about we take these quarterly things. She's had type 1 diabetes since she was 2. So when I came into her life, they'd go to these quarterly get the endocrinologist to get her A1C done and other tests. And she told a coworker to stop at Smith & Edwards, and we'd always stop there. But she talked about it like I'd never been a part of it, and I went all the time. Took time off work to go. We're in a marriage, so, you know, gas and wear and tear on your car, you know, not to mention the medical bills, which her ex-husband, my stepdaughter's dad, never paid a dime towards any of the medical bills. And so I guess he's some kind of minister now. So he married him, but she was going to exclude him and he wasn't walking her down the aisle. But then came around and let him marry her. And so one of the excuses was why she didn't invite me, because she didn't want me in any of the photos, and she knew if she invited me and then excluded me from the pictures that I'd pout and cause a big scene. I never caused a scene in public. I'm not a public scene person. She needs to take a look in the mirror how she comes across in public. But I'm the villain. I guess there's got to be a villain in the story. But anyway, I'm yammering on about how I'm just hurt. I don't know how going on. I don't know how I go to a family event, even if it's just my wife and her siblings. I'm humiliated having not been invited to that wedding, and to have had Jamie, our brother-in-law, he did the cooking. No thank you. I never want to go to another family thing again. And my wife just doesn't see that. And I don't know. 2 weeks ago, after we started the big fight, it was 2 weeks ago on Sunday, because I'd been asking, I'd been hinting. It's been almost 2 months. I've been trying to pry it out of her about this wedding. And finally she tells me that I'm not going, and and so I'm like, of course, livid, and I voice out, and she, well, it's because of this, and takes her side, and I'm just like, well, she's gonna move out. When am I wanted? When am I needed? I guess if she doesn't want me, she doesn't need me. I don't know. The banana smells good. Anyway, as you can tell, well, it's been gut-wrenching and painful. But so we come home from church, and stepdaughter's not been living there because she's moved in with well, his fiance at the time. He'd come and stay over, and I said, this isn't appropriate. I don't like this with my 13, 14-year-old. And so then he was sleeping on the couch. I'm like, no, that's not any better. If he's sleeping on the couch, then he needs to pay rent, or, I mean, he lives 2 blocks down. Go frickin' home. It doesn't need to be a sleepover all the time. But they're pretty much shacked up. They lived at his folks' house for quite a while, and I don't think that was rosy pictures either. And then they're living, I don't know where, if they've got a place now, well, that they're married, but what they've been doing for, it's about 2 months. That's a friend of hers they're living with. So, anyway, come home from church, and her car's there. Well, I stayed in the car, stayed in my truck, and my wife said, what are you doing? I'm like, well, Amaya's here. What do I do? I can't come in. She doesn't want me around. And my wife got all pissy about it. I'm like, she's excised me from the family. And then she goes off. Why would I want to go be around her when she's told me I can't come to her wedding? Absolutely ridiculous. So that started the big old fight. And just I don't know. I guess that didn't start it. There was I don't know. That really kicked it into gear anyway. And I felt for a long time she's just kind of hanging on. I mean, she's been married before. She's quit relationships. It's not love you to for better or worse type of thing. It's and I'll get an I love you out of her if I love you. Tell her enough, she'll kind of exasperatedly say it, but she never says it on her own. And she doesn't instigate a hug, and it's a side hug. Definitely not happy in it. And this marriage is just yeah. So that was a good banana. Some new features on since what is this do? Oh, green screen. Where's You're the #1 fan. Look at you. You're awesome. Anyway, that's the thing. She got married yesterday, and I can't. The old favorite month is no more. I want shorts. All right, well, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for everybody stopping in. Till next time.